An estimated 90,000 refugees in Uganda reside in Kampala registered as urban refugees. To qualify as an urban refugee, one must demonstrate security threats to life in settlements, medical reasons, and demonstration of self-reliance is required. According to KCCA, for every one registered urban refugee, there are 5 others residing in the city, of which many are not self-reliant and unable to meet the cost of urban living. The situation is exacerbated by the outbreak of COVID-19. Yet these refugees are not selecting the option of being relocated to the settlements, where they could easily access relief aid, awareness, and justice, among others.
The work they used to do was mainly hawking merchandise, and because of their lack of knowledge of the procedures, they found themselves on the wrong side of the law, and Kampala law enforcement agencies had to come in.
Valentine Namakula, the Executive Director, Center for Justice Studies and Innovation, says, due to the refugees' ignorance of what the policy requires them to do, law enforcers have taken advantage of this.
Of course, the law says ignorance is no defense, but most of the time it's also helpful, particularly for those vulnerable groups, to ensure that they understand where not to trade and what not to trade in, and if they go to the wrong side of the law, what procedures and mechanisms and what remedies are available to them. The rationale, the intention of the laws, that takes time for people to understand. It also is imperative that we go through the procedures, we take them through the procedures. When, for example, are you going to access police services? What is the expectation at police?
However, Principal Judge Flavian Zeija challenges refugees to cooperate with law enforcers and justice providers as they seek for justice.
So they need friendly procedures. We also need financial support, for example, to get some of those interpreters to be able to give them justice. Timely delivery of justice. We've had a series of sessions in the refugee camps, and you find, because you have delayed with the case, some of the refugees have gone back home.
The principal judge pledged to advocate for sensitization of judges and prosecutors on what the refugee policy requires them to do, and also focus on fighting gender-based violence among them.
We should make access to justice for them easy, because if you establish court outside the refugee camp, then it means you are increasing costs of transportation. And for example, you think that a refugee deserves bail, then you don't have to ask that refugee to provide you with a national ID, because the national ID is given to nationals. Because strides have already been taken towards addressing the access to justice concerns of refugees and asylum seekers in Uganda.
It's worth noting that out of 194 refugees who report cases to police, only 2% access court for justice to take its course. Shaidat Nasaku, UBC News.